Hello. Welcome everybody who is watching, the audience, me, myself, and I, and my father. Today, I forced my dad to record this video for a main reason. I've been doing some research myself about real estate, wholesaling, and business.
What do you mean? I have to be the one talked about whatever you find out.
Yeah, because I've been talking about it. See?
Okay, so exactly, but tell everybody. First of all, say hi to everybody. Introduce yourself because nobody knows you. You think you're famous? Nobody know who you are.
Okay, my apologies. Mi nombre es Jayden de los Santos. I live in New Jersey. And today I'm going to talk about business with my father.
What type of business are we going to talk about?
We're going to talk about wholesaling, specifically real estate wholesaling. I just like to compare, because a lot of people don't know what wholesaling is. Probably never heard of it.
Wholesaling. And what is wholesaling? Well, what is that?
Wholesaling is,
enlighten me.
Basically, in simple terms, is finding a property, then selling it to investors for profit, but you don't pay any. You don't purchase or pay for anything.
Okay, explain a little bit about it.
So regular real estate, these are basically the simple steps that it takes in simple terms. You need to find a deal, find the price, fix the property, list the property, wait for an offer, repair request, or do whatever you need, and then you get paid. They're all of that. And that's so many steps. That's so much time taken out of your life.
I thought that you said that you don't fix the. I mean, you don't use any of your money. So how do you? I don't understand. Can you explain a little bit better?
I'm talking about regular real estate.
Oh, regular real estate.
Yeah,
okay, so when you do commercial, basically, you got to find the property, buy the property, fix the property, and then sell the property for a profit.
Yeah.
That's basically flipping, right?
Yeah, that's fix and flipping, or whatever they like to call it. Anyways, wholesaling is a lot more simpler than that. In very, very simple terms, wholesaling is just finding a deal, finding a buyer, and then getting that money. You know. But if you don't understand, my apologies, I'll further explain more. Wholesaling is preferably easier than normal real estate because, first of all, it takes less steps, less time, and less risk. And what I mean by that is, with wholesaling, you don't need to worry about messing anything up with the property. You don't need to worry about time-consuming type of things because it's a lot more simpler steps that you'll be able to do in a matter of a couple of days at most. I'll give you guys a little example here. I went to the market and I want to start wholesaling, so let me start. So I went to the market to find a property and I see this property has a value of $400,000. I talked to the seller, I tried to negotiate, do whatever, and he gives me the absolute value of the property, which is $450,000. Then I get my buddy Tom. Tom's a buyer / investor, and he wants this property, but I want to give him a more fair price so he has more room to make profit from that property as well. So basically, the seller sold me the property for $400,000, and I make a price with the buyer / investor for $420,000. Then once I give him contract rights, he goes to his title company, and then they split it evenly by giving him. Are they giving him or keep taking $400,000?
Well, title company make sure that everybody get paid and everything is paid off.
Yeah. So basically, the seller gets $400,000.
Yeah.
And then I get $20,000.
So basically, you're saying that you can literally with no money, you find a seller, and you be like, listen, let me buy your property. You put the property on the contract, and then you assign that contract to somebody else for a profit. $20,000 just finding the property.
Yep.
I'm gonna start doing wholesaling. I cannot do this because, and what else does it take in order for you to achieve some of these? You know, how do you find this deal? Well, how do you get in touch with the sellers that wants to sell the property for, you know, like that?
So, I know it sounds simple, but obviously, almost with literally anything in the world, there's obviously certain steps to actually achieve what you're trying to do. So basically, the first thing you have to do is market research. So you need to go to a market with your personal target area, and you're gonna find neighborhoods, and you're gonna try to find a seller who wants to sell his house, basically. And you have to find reasons by either other investors or other buyers trying to buy the home. Basically, trying to figure out how you can negotiate with this guy on how to get more advantage of getting the property to an investor and gaining your money.
In order for me to achieve this, I have to find sellers or motivated sellers. They had a motivation to sell the property. Mm-hmm. Can you give me an example of this?
A good example of a motivated seller is, one of my personal favorites, is financial distress.
Okay.
And for the people who don't know, financial distress, it can be many things. An example I'll give you is, let's say the owner of the home who's trying to sell it just got through a divorce, let's say, and his wife left the house and then he wants to leave, or whatever the story is. Basically saying he just needs to get rid of the property. Another one could be if he has multiple properties and that one's just taking too much, too much value from his bank account, then you might want to sell that too. But basically saying financial distress is when a seller has like a very good reason.
Okay. Most people go through stuff. And most people have financial problems, you know. Maybe they got divorced. Maybe they need to sell the house to split the money between their partners. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe they wanted to move to another state. Or maybe they wanted to move out of the country. And they don't want to have a debt before they leave. So they willing to sell. Or maybe that they are struggling to make the payments every month. I understand where you're coming from, and I think that's that is a good way for you to get into real estate without having to use your own money. Because if you look at it like you're not gonna use your money, you're gonna talk to a seller, negotiate with the seller, put the property on the contract, and then assign that contract to somebody else to buy it, and then you make some profit out of it.
Yeah, that's basically the summary of wholesaling is go to the market, find a home, find a seller that has a good motive, get an investor or buyer, negotiate with the buyer and the seller to get a fair price, and then you gain your profit.
Nice. Well, people, how do you say Heard. You know, my Spanglish is not very good looking. Lo escucharon por parte de Jayden. Jayden, he's into something. But basically, wholesaling is, it can be difficult, but at the same time, like everything else in the world, you have to put in the work. You need to find that property. You need to negotiate with the seller. And listen, you never know. Maybe you can. That's literally a way for you to make $20,000 in a deal. Yes, because if you find a property and let's say you negotiate that property and you put it on the contract, you can sell that contract just for $20,000 more, and literally you can get paid $20,000. So if you look at it, let's say that you do, I don't know, 5 deals in a year. That's $100,000 in a year.
Yep.
Damn. I'm gonna do wholesaling. So if I do wholesaling, I'm not paying child support anymore. But listen, thank you for the information. I think most people need to find ways to get into real estate. And I understand most people, one of the problems most people have is they want to get into real estate, but they don't have any capital, they don't have any money, they don't, the credit's messed up and everything. So doing wholesaling is a good way for people to get into it, right? Because you can literally make some money without, using any money. Basically, you can go out and drive for dollars, like they say, right? You go around, drive around, and if you find a property, you write down the address, you find out who's the owner, which you can do that in I don't know, in the state. You can do that because that's public information, right? You find out who's the owner, and then you negotiate with the owner, right? You make sure that the owner is, find out if the owner is willing to sell. If they are willing to sell, negotiate. Because the more you negotiate, the better profit you're going to get after you sell that contract. Anything else that you wanted to say about wholesaling?
This isn't really a tip for wholesaling, but this is a tip for anything you're trying to accomplish or trying to do. Stay consistent. No matter what comes through your way, no matter how hard things get, you need to keep pushing yourself, because as soon as you stop, you're going to keep going backwards. So just keep pushing yourself so you can reach the goal line.
Damn. Stay persistent. Ni yo conozco esa palabra. Stay persistent.
They call me Shakespeare out here.
Okay, people. We're going to continue talking about all the topics. But for now, stay persistent. See you in the next one.